Next up, we have a public hearing on RZ 2020-BR-016, trustees of Annandale United Methodist Church in the Braddock District. And I see folks coming down. If we could have the applicant please reaffirm the affidavit. Welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Supervisors, my name is Lynn Strobel. I represent the applicant. I reaffirm the affidavit that is dated June 7th, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any disclosures from board members? Any disclosures? Seeing and hearing none, I will now recognize staff for a staff presentation.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm Brandon McCadden from the Department of Planning and Development. The 1.77-acre site is located at the intersection of Heritage Drive and Commons Drive, just southwest of the Annandale Central Business District. The property is bordered by the Heritage Center Mall to the south, Ocean Hall Park to the east, the Ivy Mount Court condominiums to the north, and the Oakwood Village townhouses to the west. The site is split zoned with the northern half zone R20 and the southern half zone C5. The applicant proposes to retain its place of worship and establish a community resource center, which is considered a public benefit association under the ordinance within a portion of the existing building. Since a public benefit association is permitted in the C5 district but not the R20 district, a rezoning is required. Approximately 4,000 square feet of the 17,000 square foot building will house the Community Resource Center, which will provide services that include a food pantry, free clothing, and medical care to surrounding residents. The ordinance requires 15 parking spaces for the place of worship and 13 parking spaces for the Community Resource Center. The applicant proposes a total of 15 spaces based on the non-overlapping operating hours of the two uses. The place of worship will mainly operate on the weekends, while the Community Resource Center will operate weekday afternoons and evenings. The applicant does not propose to remove any of the existing vegetation from the site. As a result, the site will continue to have 20% open space and meet the requirement of the C5 district. No exterior construction and no increase in impervious area is planned, so no new stormwater management facilities are required or proposed. Overall, staff finds that the proposed amendment is in harmony with the comprehensive plan and is in conformance with all applicable zoning ordinance provisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Let me now recognize the applicant for an applicant's presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'll be very brief in my remarks and just add a little bit to what Mr. McCadden presented. The building that's on the application property was constructed in about 1964, so it's been there a very long time and used as a place of worship. A few years ago, volunteers of the applicant began operating a food pantry and a clothes closet in that existing building, consistent with the church's mission. Almost all of the individuals who used that facility walked to the property, and what they witnessed was a growing need in the community in this area. Because the applicant believed that more services are needed to support the surrounding Fairfax County residents, they began this process that has resulted in this application that's before you today to provide a community resource center. That has necessitated a rezoning of the property, which is currently split zone, so that it is all to the C5 district, because a community resources center has been determined by Fairfax County to be a public benefit association. I would say that this application has received a lot of support, and we really appreciate all the assistance from Supervisor Walkinshaw's office. I would say especially Marcia Pape was very helpful to us. This application comes to you with a recommendation of approval from the Braddock District Land Use and Environmental Committee, from the staff, and also the Planning Commission. So I would ask for your support this afternoon for a rezoning that will allow the applicant to collaborate with Fairfax County agencies to address recurring and special community needs. I would like to allow Jason Michelli to provide just a few remarks on behalf of the applicant. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. My name is Jason Michelli. I'm the senior pastor at Annandale United Methodist Church, and I will be brief too. This has been a much longer and more complicated process than I ever anticipated when I was appointed there 3 years ago this month. But I want to reiterate Supervisor Walkinshaw's support and encouragement through this, and all of the staff at the Planning Commission have been enormously helpful. And on behalf of the congregation, we look forward to being able to partner with the county and other services to make a difference for our neighbors. So thank you.
Thank you very much. At this point, let me ask if there are any questions either of staff or the applicant. Any questions? Seeing and hearing none, this is a public hearing, and I have no one who has signed up in advance to testify. Is there anyone here present in the auditorium who wishes to speak on this matter? Anyone who wishes to speak on this matter? This is a public hearing. Seeing and hearing no one, let me ask the clerk if we have any speakers who have called in.
No, there are no callers.
No callers on the line. Closing comments and a recommendation from staff.
On June 16, 2021, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this application, subject to the proffers dated June 1, 2021. Staff concurs with this recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any final questions from the board? Seeing none, we'll now close the public hearing and recognize Supervisor Walkinshaw for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion to just have a couple comments. I move that the Board of Supervisors approve RZ 2020-BR-016, subject to the proffers dated June 1st, 2021.
Second.
Heard the motion and the second. Is there further discussion? Supervisor Walkinshaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is maybe about as feel-good a land use case as we'll have, but it really is a great story, and it's a personal one for me because before I was Lynn talked about the food distribution. Before I was elected, I was one of the folks there handing out bags of food, and this year's Braddock District Volunteer Champion, you all will remember Betsy Clevenger, is the amazing woman who spearheads that work there, and it's really become an incredible community resource. And this rezoning will allow those services to expand and allow additional services to the community, including a wellness and screening center in partnership with the Medical Care for Children Partnership, access to a mobile dental van, additional supportive educational resources and services to a community that really needs it. And we recently had one of our health department and neighborhood health vaccine equity clinics at this site on the same day as a food distribution. I think it broke records for the equity clinics in terms of the number of people who were able to come and get their vaccine. So it's a testament to how important this facility already is to the community, and it will become even more important with the board's approval today. A few folks that I just want to thank: Brandon McCadden from DPD, Michael Peruti from the Fire Marshal's office. They were really key in making this happen. Our Braddock District Planning Commissioner, Mary Cortina, the Annandale United Mission Center, Methodist Church Mission Center, especially. Thank you all for your commitment, Pastor, and everything that you do to help support our community. Members of the Braddock District Land Use and Environment Committee, Marcia Pate from my office, who has been working on this since years before I was elected, because my predecessor started this process and took a crack at this also. Marcia Twomey with the Medical Care for Children Partnership, thank you all for your commitment to this community. And Lynn Strobel, thank you. I know this has been a labor of love for you over the last several years as well. So I'll wrap up with that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your work on this.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Gross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This location is immediately across the street from one of Mason District's western borders. And lest anyone be confused, Annandale United Methodist Church, the mothership, if I recall it, is in Mason District. However, a number of years ago, they were able to obtain this other church, and I don't even remember what the name of the church, this church was beforehand. Emmanuel, thank you. And it was very small, and there was a lot of interest in using it for something, but until Annandale United Methodist was able to obtain the property and sort of bring a more robust approach, we really were sort of stuck. You know, we've got a lot of these split-zoned locations in older areas. Part of it is commercial and part of it is residential. And sort of it stymies the opportunity to use it for community good. And so I want to congratulate Supervisor Walkinshaw I know Supervisor Cook and I had conversations about this years ago. I had conversations with folks at Annandale United Methodist, Clarence Brown, the previous pastor, and we just couldn't figure out how to move this forward. So you've gotten it done almost, and I just wanted to say, kudos, because this will serve an area that really needs that community center opportunity. Annandale United Methodist overall has been an incredible community citizen to Annandale and the greater Annandale. And so I am really, really pleased to see that this is going to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gross. Any other comments? Let me just add my thanks as well to the applicant for embarking on this journey. Probably no better description than that, but a journey to get to this point. And Ms. Strobel, thank you for your help. Obviously, I know this community well, and the services that you provide are so invaluable. So thank you for being a community partner and helping our residents who are most in need. It's certainly been important over the last year, but is always important and always necessary. So thank you. With that, all those in favor of the application, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? And that motion carries. Thank you very much.